Hey guys, this is Sam, and today I tried out the iPad Mini 3 for myself at my local Apple store, and I definitely wanted to share my thoughts with you guys here on my channel to let you know what I'm thinking about the iPad Mini 3. First off, the name is a bit wonky because the last generation iPad, which is now called the iPad Mini 2, last year was called the iPad Mini with Retina display, and now all of a sudden they switched to the 1, 2, 3, etc. naming convention for the iPad Minis, and that's just not working for me. I don't think you can go from a Mini with Retina display, changing that name to iPad Mini 2, then iPad Mini 3. iPad Mini 3 just sounds weird in my opinion, and the name is not doing it for me. So maybe that's some beef right there with the iPad Mini 3. Second of all, the form factor is the exact same as last generation. The processor is the exact same as last generation. The camera is the exact same from last generation, because pretty much the only thing new here on the iPad Mini 3 that Apple announced and got nearly 30 seconds of stage time, if that, was a Touch ID fingerprint scanner replacing the old home button. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Touch ID, and that was a much needed feature on all iPads in my opinion. But to only upgrade the home button from last generation and call it an iPad Mini 3, this should be iPad Mini 2.1 if anything, or just iPad Mini with Retina display 0.1. This is barely an update at the most, and if you have an iPad Mini 2 with Retina display, oh gosh, I'm getting the names confused already. If you have an iPad Mini 2 / iPad Mini with Retina display, I would not recommend upgrading to the iPad Mini 3 at all, unless you've got some extra money to blow and you're going to sell your old one. Go for it then, but really, this is not one of those things where last generation was good and this one's really good. This is last generation was really good and this generation is pretty good. I mean, there's not enough upgrades here. If you ask me, the iPad Mini 3 should have had an 8 megapixel camera, just like the iPad Air 2. The A8 chip at least, I'm not asking for A8X on the Mini, but just A8, and a Touch ID fingerprint scanner. Then I probably would have been switching from an iPad Air line down to the Minis, but right now, slapping a fingerprint sensor on last generation's iPad Mini and calling it the iPad Mini 3 just isn't going to cut it for me. Guys, these are my thoughts on the iPad Mini 3. Leave a like down below if you enjoyed listening and watching the video, and of course subscribe for future Apple coverage. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video once again, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.